Hi there. Welcome to my weekly vlog. Wow, what a ride. Wow, what a ride. Happy Mother's Day. Um, if you're a mother, you totally deserve it. If you have a mother or had a mother, you totally deserve it. Mother's Day, a special day that we recognize that relationship, unlike any other relationship that we have in our lives. So, welcome. Who's here? Let me know who's here and let me know if you're a mom. I thought we'd do a little riffing on mom today. Um, the good, the bad, and the ugly. the it's the one relationship that it seems like no matter what we do, there's always something about our relationships with our moms that are beautiful. And there's always something, or seemingly, at least in my experience, there's something about our relationship with our moms that can. I don't know about you, but I thought I'd share a little bit about mine. But I'm going to start with something. Um, Hold on a minute. I sent it out in today's email. It's, hold on just a second. Here it is. Today is May 13th. Yep, here it is. I had to go crazy looking for it because I had put it in my computer years ago. I must have found this. Here it is. I must have found this at least, is it possible, 20 years ago? Yep, it's very possible. I was in Connecticut with a friend of mine. Friend of mine. Huh? Oh, hi, Sadie. All right, Sadie's a mom of two. Julie, I think Julie, you're a mom of either two or three. Um, Welcome, welcome. There are a bunch more of you, so let me know who's here in the chat um, when you get a chance. But let me start out with this quote because I found this. I have very, very dear friends who live in Copenhagen. Um, he was Rick is his name, and he's been my friend forever. I almost can't imagine a time when he wasn't. His wife um, came to the U.S. from Denmark um, on a vacation. They met, fell in love. Such a wonderful story. They met, they fell in love, but when and they got married. They ended up getting married. I think they did a long distance relationship for a little while, and they said, no, we don't want to do this. So they got married. She came to the US and they lived here for many years. And then when they wanted to have a family, they moved back to Copenhagen. And um, so somehow it feels very appropriate that I found this. So I'm about to share this with you, with them. And when I was in Europe, whenever I'd go to Europe, I would always spend time with them. Okie dokie, here we go. Here we go. All right, we're now about, hopefully, you're going to see this. I want to make sure that you can see this. Yep, you can. So Rick and Hella and the kids were here from Denmark, and his, their family, his family was in Connecticut, so we would meet in Mystic, Connecticut and I have a meal, hang out, do a little bit of touristy stuff. And I found this, and this was just um, incredible, just incredible to me because it just said the essence of the relationship that I have with my mother, which is why I sent it out to everybody today. I still have this after all these years. And it says, you may see her some nights silhouetted against the moon. Ask her who taught her to fly. My mother, she'll say. She was a good teacher. As far as my wings carry me, my heart always knows the way home. So I bought this and I gave it to my mom, and I thought it didn't mean much to her. And then when she was in her final years in a nursing facility, I can't remember, but she had this with her. It was one of the few things that meant something to her. And I can remember um, being curious because my mom wasn't that type of person. She wasn't really very, in some ways, unlike me. I tend to be on the emotional side and kind of sentimental and kind of like a a mush in some ways. And she wasn't like that, but she really loved this little thing. And so when she passed away, I took it and I have it, and it's a little beat up and it's missing she's missing, I think she's missing this hand now. This came off somewhere along the way, but I still have it. And so when I was looking at what I wanted to send to everybody today, um, I looked up and there she was, and I thought, this is it, because regardless of anything, the good, the bad, the ugly, what worked, what didn't work, I feel like I was able to learn so much from my mom. So I'm going to share some of that because the one thing that I learned from my mom that is kind of mind blowing to me, I think I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to leave this up because it inspires me. Let me go back. Here it is. I'm going to leave it up. It does inspire me. Is resilience. The thing that we talk about a lot in the lipedema community is resilience. You know, that with the chronic disease, with everything, and as I've shared my own personal ups and downs and setbacks and lymphatic issues, it takes a lot of persistence. And part of persistence is the resilience. And that's one thing that being in relationship with my mom taught me is how to hang in there no matter what, how to stay the course. And that's something that I will always be grateful for. In some ways, my mom was a rebel. Not that I'm not, I am, but she was a rebel in a particular way. She grew up in a time, I often say about myself that I grew up in a time where we were taught not to make waves. And I take great pride in that. I feel like I have learned to make tsunamis, and tsunamis that make a difference. Um, so Um, so I learned resilience, and I learned especially dealing with the healthcare system because I have a story to tell you that just happened Friday, and I keep looking at that, and so there I am. She was a good teacher. My mother, she'll say, she was a good teacher. As far as my wings carry me, my heart always knows the way home. And the way home is always back to my center, back to my center. So, Friday, healthcare. Um, I'm moving and so I'm moving on the weekend of June 29th. I think the move day is going to be the 29th. So, and then I'll be in my new home putting things together. So, um, because I have the directory, our directory is phenomenal, by the way. Our directory's been going for way over 10 years. It was started by different ladies in the community, and all of the people in the directory, pretty much everyone, um, are people that were recommended by someone in the community, which means that somebody went to them and they know about lipedema. But I got an outreach from someone who's in the directory and who started um, an offshoot business with her and another OT. They are both OTs, occupational therapists, who do lymphatic drainage, manual lymphatic drainage, and other lymphedema care. Well, as life would have it, it's just remarkable. I just have to say that life is filled with amazing, amazing surprises. Well, it turns out that they're in the area that I'm moving to. And so they go to homes. They don't have people come to an office or a hospital or a massage area. Instead, they come to you. And, and I thought, oh my God, that's just what I need. I need an intensive period of manual lymphatic drainage to help reduce all the swelling that you've heard me talk about. Excuse me. Well, I contacted my primary care and had a telemedicine with her on Friday because she had to write me a script and put everything in place, and there were some other things we needed to talk about. And she tells me she's leaving the practice. And I'm like, oh no, that can't be. My first reaction was self centered. That's what it's all about, me. And then my second reaction, which came very quick, I have to admit. All right, I'm coming back now. Came very quick, I have to admit, because I happen to love her. She's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful primary care for me. Was to celebrate her leaving because the system was fabulous. The healthcare system was just wonderful. And then they got acquired. It was sort of like they got acquired by a bigger, more structured system that forgets about the patient, just doesn't have any real focus or care about the patient experience, which is why she's leaving. And the other thing is she's leaving to take a position as a primary care physician at MIT. MIT is my favorite place in the world. I love MIT. I've spent a lot of time there. I did a little bit of teaching there, but not as much as I would have liked. But I'm such a nerd. I'm such a geek in my own right that being at MIT is great. And she is totally brilliant. So it's a great place for her, Dr. Barlo. So Dr. Barlo is on her way out. Anyway, she recommended someone, and it's like, I'm like, oh no, I'm just not ever going to have a doctor again. That was so funny. I was like, all right, that's okay. Goodbye forever. She recommended someone, so I called to make an appointment. So we agreed that I would make an appointment with the guy she was recommending, and then we would discuss it before she leaves. She's leaving at the end of the summer, which is great timing for me. And so I tried to make an appointment, and they wouldn't let me. I mean, they're like, "No, you can't. You already have a primary care." I said, "Yes, but she's leaving, and I need to meet with the new one so I can talk with her before she leaves. She's part of that transition process for me." And they refused. So I did my huffy puffy, let me talk to the manager. And the manager calls several hours later, same thing, totally refused for me to have an appointment. And I'm like, oh God, the healthcare system. Let me see. Marcia from Texas. Tammy, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Julie. Uh, oh, um, yeah, she's here. 69. Oh, how nice. It's really not good here. Sharon from Australia. First time here. Welcome. Um, so, um, so they're like, you can't have an appointment. You have to either cancel your appointment with your primary care, or to get a intro meeting with the new one. And it's like, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But the thing that was so apparent for me is that it was totally disassociated from my experience as a patient. I'm 75 years old, so I get to play the elder card. I'm 75 years old. I've been with their hospital system forever. Dr. Carmody was there, and I was with Dr. Carmody for way over 30 years. So I've been with that hospital system probably going on 35, 38, maybe 40 years. Nothing, nothing. And I realized, so I huffed and puffed and blew the house down. I huffed and puffed and then I calmed down. And then I calmed down. And then I realized, you know, this is why she's leaving that hospital system, because she is such a good doctor. She's not willing to work in a system that is not patient centric. So I started to look. I thought, all right, so I'm moving an hour from Boston. There's got to be doctors there. There are people who need doctors. So I started to look, and within a very short time, I found a wonderful practice 6 minutes from my new house. And not only that, but the practice is what they call direct primary care, which means we're going to be doing something like that. We've talked about it a little bit, like it's called concierge. It's like you sign up, you pay like a membership fee, and the membership fee is affordable. At least for me, it's affordable. It's what, $135 a month or something. And you get open access. You can, call, and if you need help, oftentimes you can do it through telemedicine. Um, so I found this practice and I went, ah, there's always a pathway. There's always a pathway. And that's the thing about this quote. I'm going to go back to the quote. That's the thing about this quote that I learned from my mom. I can't believe I'm going through all this, but it's true. I am. Here it is. I learned from my mom. As far as my wings carry me, my heart always knows the way home. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and so that's what had happened. I had woken up in the middle of the night and I thought twice. It wasn't just once. Once the person that I talked to make the appointment, and then the manager. And the manager was just as abrupt and mean as the other person. And I thought, wait, that's not an accident. That's giving me information. That's telling me what I already know, which is this healthcare system doesn't really give a crap for the patient. No, that's not what's important to them. And sadly, that's so true around healthcare. But there are options, there are alternatives. You can find alternatives. And so there I am at 3 in the morning going, oh, I found the right doctor. So I'll let you know, but I am going to be calling. I couldn't call in the middle of the night on a Saturday night. So I'll call them on Monday and schedule an eval, and just to get into their practice. Anyway, hi Chris. Oh, hi Chris. Nice to see you. Your blog post. Chris wrote us a absolutely beautiful blog post. So make sure you go to it. I think it's getting published next week or this coming week. Hi Barbara from Illinois and Cheryl from Wisconsin. 80 degrees. Wow. And Tammy. Yeah, Chris says so many good doctors are abandoning those systems. It's true. Oh, Chris says she pays for direct care. Hi, Ruth. Um, yeah, direct care. I think as a concept, it's wonderful. So what the practice does is they, decide on X number of patients, and each patient pays, um, in this case, as an individual, because I don't have a family. I mean, I don't have a husband and kids that would be part of it. That's a different model or a different amount. But for an individual, it's 135 or maybe 125, something like that a month, which is very, very, very reasonable. And and of course, then I have Medicare and Blue Cross and Blue Shield for, if I need testing or anything else. But it is just understanding how circuitous. The best I can say is the healthcare system is broken, severely broken, and it's been happening over years. Um, and so I'll let you know. That'll be part of my ongoing process and my ongoing adventure. So on Mom's Day, I say, thank you, Mom. You taught me a kind of resilience. You taught me to be a fighter. You taught me to be a rebel. But in being a rebel, you also taught me how to find the pathways. And I taught myself a lot of that. So I want to also give myself credit for that because, boy, it's like you really have to. So I've had to learn to advocate for myself in the healthcare system. I've had to learn to really stay the course and not to give up on myself. I've had to learn to look for the voices that matter and that actually are supportive, and to also home to myself, to be home to myself, to know when I'm in the right place for me, doing what's right for me, and to trust that, even when it might not be, the party line, so to speak. Anyway, what a journey. So today was some of that reflection. And tomorrow I'll call this practice 6 minutes from my new house. 6 minutes. That's like unbelievable. when I was looking for a place, when I was figuring it all out, and, you know, I was looking within an hour radius of Boston, thinking that I would have to come to Boston for my health care. And I would have to come to Boston for my manual lymphatic drainage, which would be 2-hour trip each time and like that. And I feel very blessed. I feel very, very, very blessed because I can't imagine anything more in timing for me and a gift and a blessing for me to be able to sit on my deck. My new house has a deck overlooking a lake. To sit on my deck and just watch the lake. Not do much of anything, but just watch the lake. When I say that, I'm planning on really working on my lymphatic system. So come on the journey with me. Thanks to Anita. God bless Anita. Anita and Kelly Bell and Jen Bell, who I've worked with on the central lymphatic issues, and Leslin had all talked about Dr. Perry Nicholson, who's in New Jersey. He's a chiropractor, but he does a lot of work on the lymphatic system. And also Dr. Perrin. So I've been doing a lot of Dr. Perrin's work. And Anita mentioned a self massage routine that Dr. Perry teaches. And so I went, and because I've been so involved in so many other things, I um, I think part of what I get from doing this vlog is last week I was talking about the swelling and really needing to do something to reduce the swelling because everything I've been doing and to it hasn't worked to the degree that I need it to work. So she mentioned Dr. Perry Nicholson, and I started to listen to his videos, and that was it. Again, another thing that I just signed up, another yearly thing. So I started on his membership, and I'm going to take a couple of his courses because I think it's going to help with all of the swelling that I'm experiencing from all the central lymphatic sluggishness and whatever else is going on. So, anyway, to be continued, we'll see. So I am going to be cleaning everything out and packing over the next many weeks. I have 6 weeks to pack. And then I'll be moving on the 29th. And so on June 30th, if all goes well, I'll be talking to you from my deck. I don't know if I'll have the deck furniture yet. I'm going to see if I can get the deck furniture early and have it delivered before I actually get there because they're doing some renovation and fixing things up. And I'll see if I can get the deck furniture in. Um, and that's what I'm doing. I've spent hours looking for the right deck furniture. If anybody has any recommendations, please let me know. So I'm getting an umbrella, of course, um, and I'm getting a couple of lounge chairs, but I also want to get a dining table, not a big one, a small one, enough for me and 3 other people. I know for sure because people are already saying they're going to come down to visit so that we can relax out on the deck. And yeah, so I just feel like, let me see if I can find the picture. I have to show you my deck because you're going to be seeing it. I'm like beyond thrilled about it. And I went to see the inside, and as I said, it definitely needs some repair work. But here it is. All right, you ready to see my deck? All right, I'm showing you my deck now. This is show and tell today. Okie dokie. Yeah, got it? That's my deck. Well, my deck is over here to the left, but this is down to the lake. Oh my God. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it. So, let's see. Chris, let's talk about direct care. I want to hear your experience of it. Yeah, blog post on direct care. Yes. And you can interview your folks and you can interview my folks, and that would be great. Um all right. Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are mothers or who have mothers. And the real truth of it is, all of us who are women, in one way or the other, we mother others in our lives, whether we're mothers or we're not mothers. But that level of care is so innate in us. It's so much a part of who we are. So, anyway, ladies, have a wonderful week. I am loving you and happy to be here with you. I'll see you sometime this week and I'll see you next week. Ciao.